Thank you very much. Welcome back to the second part. I hope you had a great lunch. We're going to continue with the second part of this Congress. And we're going to kick it off with a presentation by Mr. Andraž Tuš, how to motivate people to do what's good for them. And for this introduction, I will ask Ana if you could please introduce what we're going to be discussing and how it's going to be done.
So, welcome back, everyone. I would love Andraž to say what he wants, but I would like to introduce him as someone who actually did an incredible work. He's one of my heroes that maybe the ministry or maybe the government or maybe an institution should be doing. So, in 1 minute, like the lockdown happened, at the beginning we all thought it's gonna be short and fun. We were like around the house playing table tennis and having Ibiza a bar at the laundry and thought that everything is okay because it's not gonna last long. So my team stayed with us. And but then this lockdown never finished. And after, I believe, more or less 3 weeks, the farmers started calling, saying like, chef, look, because Hisha Franco Honesty really works so close to farmers. And they were like, we have like 1,000 lamps that nobody wants to buy because the restaurants are closed. Can you do something with them? And I was like, but we are close too. I mean, I can be Madre Teresa, but it doesn't go forever. And then I talked with Anka from Planika. I had a meeting with her, and she was like, Anna, we are throwing away 10,000 of liters of milk every day. I'm not talking about every month, every day, because, you know, in a lockdown, we all changed our habits. Like, no one was going anymore to buy fresh milk, fresh bread every day. We all went, and I believe everyone, for long-lasting products because we needed to use masks, and we couldn't actually access the supermarkets more than thought of the days. So I had my team with me, and I had the farmers in problem. So I opened the problem with my team. We were sitting, there is an Instagram picture that you can still find it from, I think, end of March 2020, when we are all sitting on a field which is just sprouting, green, and I drop a bomb to my team. I was like, what would you do with 10,000 liters of milk? What would you do with, I don't know, 1,000 lamps? And I said, groups, and let's start seeing results. And there were some incredible, like, I don't know, from ice creams to pastrami's to pulled to whatever, to gnocchi, to pasta, to... But then we understood that we started doing something, taking from farmers, but then we understood we can only save 10 liters of milk, but not 10,000 liters of milk. And I called the Minister of Agriculture, who was a minister at the time, and I was like, listen, we have a problem, because I honestly think that the politics now regarding the agriculture shouldn't be happening in the office, but should be happening outside, because everybody is in trouble, everybody is in shit. And I don't have the logistic how to do it. And at the end, I'm just a chef. Like, how can I think for everyone? And then they said, they were super enthusiastic about helping, but they said, like, go to a tender number 7 through 200, 45 through 2017, and I was like, but I'm a creative person, I'm not even a rational, so how can I read tenders and understand what I have to do? Because I'm trying to help the farmers. They don't belong to me, but they are part of our agriculture. So, of course, nothing happened, and then I was desperate, and I think the beginning of May was approaching, and then I called my friend he likes calling himself, I was managing a company, 1 billion company. He is a brilliant mind, a young man, and I was like, Žiga, how can you save Slovenian farmers? And he was like, Anna, it's simple, business. And then I said, but what does that mean? Because honestly, business-wise, I'm a very stupid person. And he said, like, give me half a day. Like, exactly a few hours later, he called me and he said, I think we have someone. we have a Tuš group, which is the third biggest supermarket group in Slovenia and the only one who is purely Slovenian. A group that maybe, and Andraž will maybe kill me for this, needs to have like a kind of reanimation in the minds of people, but it's the only one who was actually supporting farmers, and they were willing to understand if we can do something together. So today, a year later, maybe a little bit more than a year later, this business became a business that saved so many farmers. We, in I believe 7 months, and then correct me later, Andraž, sold more than 500,000 of products, all based on Slovenian farmers, worked out with a creativity of the team of Hiša Franko, who has been locked down, and actually we could just suicide ourselves. And you know how many win situation this one is? It is about, we sold out, can I curse? Fucking all mountain cottages that remained in the mountains, sour milk. We are selling. My team could be working. We were all divided in groups. We were creating, working with technologies in the industry, trying to teach them how not to do shortcuts. Do you know what kind of food we eat in the industry? The industrial food that we eat every day, I will replace it. It's horrible. Like, they do shortcuts. They don't even know how to process fresh food. We went through all these products. But because of this man, Andraž Tuš, who made sure that we had access to the technologies, to the industry, to the logistic of selling, and what says it all, Tuš Group said no to their margin of the price, so we didn't negotiate with farmers. So we could actually make farmers' work understand as a pure dignity. So we are continuing this project for the following at least 2 years, and I hope it's gonna last forever, because it's probably my biggest baby where I really see results, and I don't want to be praised for it, but I'm really proud. And Andraž is coming on stage now.
Wow, thank you, Ana. You've said many nice words over the years, and I really want to thank you. You've been a real partner in this collaboration, and yeah, we were really lucky in the last year that we stumbled upon this opportunity. I'm going to explain, and I'm going to give you some insight into how it happened. It's really interesting. You warm my heart. Thanks. I want to relate a little bit to what Marie-Claude said before. She said food is boring. And a year ago, I had these 2 IT guys in my office, and we had a business meeting, a serious business meeting. And these 2 guys start off with, "Hey, Andraž, why are you still in this grocery industry? It's such a boring industry," from their perspective, obviously. And my reply, "No, it isn't. You have no idea what we're doing, and you have no idea what's coming. And if you would know what I know, you would be really, really excited." And I'm here today to kind of show you what I think is coming and what my team and I believe will happen in the future with retail. So, I want to share with you a story my team and I experienced. In our objective to know our customers better than they know themselves, we followed the scientific process and basically analyzed data, and we put down hypotheses and executed experiments in order to get to the data, get to the insights that would help us understand our customers better. And we stumbled upon some very interesting, important facts that allow us to influence how the customers, or how people in general, can and will and should change their behavior for the better. The first challenge: we subconsciously deceive ourselves most of the time. Now, I don't really know why we do it. That's not the job that we are here to do. That's not what we set out to do. We definitely understood that people in general deceive themselves, ourselves. And we kind of wanted to dive into this. And we wanted to understand how their existing beliefs influence what they do as a result of their beliefs, and how we can use that knowledge to affect their behavior and change their behavior for the better. This is a picture of me and my team attending the Ljubljana Marathon this year. And why this is up is because even though I got a fairly good time at this marathon, I actually achieved my goal, I did it at a pretty high cost. I had a very raging blister on my right foot, and my heart rate was through the roof most of the time, because I'm very competitive, so I cannot let go once I set a goal. So my goal was to go below 50 minutes for 10 kilometers, and I did. And I'm happy, but I realized I was not prepared. I was deceiving myself all the way up to this event, all the way up to this marathon, and it's something that's not sustainable. And I think most of us deceive ourselves most of the time. And health is a particularly hard issue where we deceive ourselves in a way. We think we invest enough time and effort in our health. We think we eat the healthiest food options we can. But reality, now being tracked by various fitness trackers and fitness apps, you can very much see that you usually consume way more unhealthy macronutrients than you should. You exercise way less than is recommended or you should for your body, for your age and health. So this is something that was kind of a pretty revealing information, and we wanted to take that and build on that. Second, we see that people don't really change their behavior, their habits, unless they're faced with a significant life event. What I mean by a significant life event, I mean, for example, my grandfather, 15 years ago, I remember him, he was smoking for 30 years, I believe, or maybe even more. He was smoking 1 or 2 packs a day. And all of a sudden, he has this medical event. I think he had trouble breathing and chest pain. He goes to see the doctor, and the doctor tells him, basically, if you keep on smoking, you will be breathing on an oxygen tank for the rest of your life in about a year. What happened? He immediately quit smoking. The next day, a dramatic life event helped him change his behavior, radically change his behavior. And in many cases, most cases, that's what we need, right? We need some dramatic event. We need a heart attack. We need a visit to the doctor to tell us your cholesterol is way up for your age group. Your blood pressure is way too high. Or you get destroyed by your friends at a marathon. So things like this need to happen, but things like this, events like this, are not sustainable, obviously. And as a business, you cannot generate a life event for people in order to change their behavior. But we believe, and we have begun to realize, that there is a way. And today I'd like to take you through a case when my team and I managed just that. 2020 was it was a difficult year for all of us, including groceries. We had to abide by various different protocols that changed day by day, like including the ones changing as we speak. The year had a profound change, effect on the way we perceive our health and the way we understand our health. Even before 2020, our National Institute for Public Health did several surveys every 4 years, whereby they would measure kind of the healthy habits of Slovenians. And even in the last 8 years of their surveys, they've actually gathered data that show that Slovenians are increasing their effort to eat and behave, or I should say live, healthier. It went up from 25% of people believing they eat healthy and live healthy to 50% in 2016 in the 8-year span. So what 2020 did is basically showed us how fragile we are. It showed us how fragile our immune system is and how little we actually take care of ourselves, and that we actually should. We see this in the data that we can pull from different research agencies, such as people actually track their health a lot more. People used a lot more health apps. People bought a lot more fitness trackers in the year 2020. Also, what we can see in our stores, the first thing that we ran out of was yeast, kvass. Why? Because people were baking at home. People were focusing on trying to make their own food at home. They were basically educating themselves on how to make food in their own home, food that is healthy, food that can actually help them, in a way, feel less bored, I guess. There was a sense of being bored and being locked in. And in another way, more healthy. And basically, what I'm trying to say, these signals, these changes in the market, helped or are helping as we speak to kind of put more emphasis on the quality of food that we seek out, the quality of food that supermarkets sell, and the quality of food that is accessible from farmers every day. And I believe, and me and my team agree, that quality is a prerequisite to health, to a healthy lifestyle. Like you cannot have a healthy lifestyle without also having quality food, quality ingredients in that food. So I believe this paradigm that we are seeing in retail, going from accessibility, so just being able to buy everything you need in one shop, to the next paradigm, which is quality, that is, in my opinion and my team's opinion, the same as health. This is the paradigm that we are seeing that is going to happen and that is already happening. And I think our first proof is this. This is the most local, high-quality, fresh brand that has ever entered into the shelves of stores. At least I can say for Slovenia. We were extremely lucky to stumble upon this opportunity and talk first with Giga and then with Ana's team and immediately grab onto this opportunity to collaborate and create one of the best tasting and most interesting, high-quality, local, fresh brands you can buy today in Slovenia. And don't get me wrong, we tried this before. We tried it in different ways. And because we've tried it in different ways before, we kind of knew, we understood that there is something there. The market looks and seeks out these products. They want to buy them. They just don't know how to buy them, where to buy them, and maybe they don't have the right product to buy. And when I was in Kobarit with Ana and her team, kind of figuring out what this product line will be, that was in October 2020. When we were figuring out what this product line will be, obviously our number one priority was we need to find a way to create products that will use this agricultural surplus that we currently have in Slovenia. And that's why we started with milk and cottage, and we developed our first product, which was cottage gnocchi. Amazing product. We all loved it. It broke all records from the categories and from the niche products we've ever launched. And it basically started us on a really interesting path towards developing more and more local, fresh, high-quality products. And we've been extremely successful. Like Ana said, we've already sold 500,000 products, and that number is rapidly growing. And right now, we're releasing, 10 new products in the next month. So I'm really excited. Ravioli is coming. I've been fighting for this ravioli for a year. This was my favorite product, and I really want to see it hit the shelf. So I'm excited. What I want to emphasize today, what's I think a really important message today is for all the chefs out there, and potentially also grocery-related people and entrepreneurs. I want you guys to think about this challenge. I want you to think about how you can use this idea and the result of our collaboration with Ana to create your own brands, your own local, fresh, high-quality brands, products in your own countries. Because not only are we buying from verified local fresh sources directly from farmers, you're also creating something the customers want, that the customers are looking for. And it's an extremely interesting value proposition it seems to be, since we sold 500,000 in such a short period of time for customers, that I think in any country you release this, in any country you build a product like this in a collaboration with a famous name, I think it would be successful. And I want to now go into the reason why I think that. So in our objective to know our customers most, we kind of proceeded with our scientific process, first gathering the data, filtering the data, looking at which customers we should talk to, and basically our first experiment was do one-on-one interviews via the phone, talk to customers, ask them what they think, why they buy this, how they buy this. And our first hypothesis was, obviously, the customers understood, the people understood what we wanted to say. They understood that we wanted to focus on the quality ingredients that these products contain. And that was our main hypothesis. That was the idea we thought the people were following. But what happened, what we got back as an answer, kind of surprised us. Despite the fact that customers told us they wanted to buy high-quality, local, fresh products, despite the fact that our entire communication told them that this is a high-quality, local, fresh product sourced from Slovenia, from local farmers, that's not at all what we heard from them. And that was interesting. What we heard, what they told us was, they told us that they bought this product because they wanted to try something new. And obviously that's, I guess, something that we should have expected. But the important part is, this is all they told us they bought it, why they bought it. There was no other reason, basically. So it's like they don't really care about quality. That's how it sounded like. But as we dug deeper, we understood the value that the customers saw. So the customers saw that this is actually a product that is going to, especially in time of 2020, that is going to brighten up their life. It's going to bring them an experience they can make in their own home. And I think our next campaign, our next ad, did exactly that. It showed Ana walking into the kitchen, and as Ana walks by, she transforms into the chef of the home. So your home chef. And I think that was the message that then we hit the spot with that message then. What this caused us to completely change our communication. And now we know in the future that we will still be saying this is high quality, local, fresh, but we will not be emphasizing that. We'll be emphasizing the fact that this brings customers, this brings you the experience that you're seeking. So back to healthiness and healthy life. How does this help us trigger healthy habits? Buying healthy and living healthy is much harder than just buying an experience in a store, for example. We realized that making this product, we made it an experience, and we obviously showcased it as an experience. But doing that with health is a bit harder.
I'm sorry.
The first issue is the issue of convenience. Today, it's much, much easier, much more convenient to live unhealthy. And I like to use this example because this is the example that's global. Unhealthy fast food is extremely accessible. It's a drive away. It's a minute away. We can get it instantly. It's got all those intense flavors, the salt, the sugar, everything you crave and think you need. And in order to eat healthy, you need to seek out a lot of information about healthy food. You need to educate yourself. You need to know what your body needs. You need to know what you're allergic to. You can't just follow labels that are shortcuts to eat healthy, like bio, organic, or low fat, low sugar. Those labels don't help you live healthy. The second issue is the issue of personalization. This is an example of how we see data, how we see customer transactions. And in this visualization, we put out a good example of how we will be able to kind of recognize patterns in your food, in your transactions, and recognize basically your needs from either the feedback you give us or from the genetic profile you also provide us with. I know this is going to be a serious GDPR issue, and in the future, there will be a lot of talking and a lot of transparency involved around that. But I think this is a problem we can overcome in order to provide this value of helping people live healthier. So, how do we make health convenient and an experience? Because obviously it needs those two ingredients. We make it convenient and an experience by satisfying two main points: making it personalized and making it easy. And I want to show you an example. Of how this will look. So this is a personalized meal offer that you would receive from us that would be tailor-made to your specific needs. Obviously, the convenient part is the ability to order it and have it delivered immediately. The rational, emotional part is the part where not only is this the food you actually eat and like, it's also presented to you in a great way, in a way that you want it to be presented. Now, I guess what's missing is, and I couldn't fit everything in one message, is the transparency. You want to know where it's coming from, which farmer, which fisherman in this case caught this fish from which sea at what time, and you want to know when it's going to be delivered and then made into a dish and delivered to you. And this is not a hypothetical. This is something that we're working on, and we believe in I'll say a year. In a year, we can solve the technical problem. But today, what I'm trying to tell you is the technical problem is not the challenge. I think the technical problem, we have a team of 10 really expert developers, and we're hiring more, working specifically only on this problem, developing a platform, building a platform of very specific artificial intelligence that will help us build these recommendations. The challenge will not be that. The challenge will be convincing people to change their habits. So how do you motivate people to do what's good for them? You do it by making healthy food more convenient than fast food, visually irresistible and tailor-made to fit your body's needs. I think there's another perspective as well that we've talked about before. You also make it affordable. And you make it affordable by knowing how much you need and when you need it. Because food waste is one of the major, in my opinions, and with the data I have, one of the biggest factors that influences the prices in the stores. If we can make this supply chain so efficient that you don't have to throw food away in the end, you can make sure that healthy food, that quality food, is available and accessible to everyone. And I think when you'll be at a point where you're subscribed, when you become a member of the service, and when you get this message, I think it's going to be very difficult for you to say no. And I want to leave you with that. I want to leave you with that thought. I want to make you think first how we can do this everywhere, how we can build quality local fresh brands everywhere across the world. And second, I want to hear from you, and I want your take on what you think would be something that would help people change their eating habits. And what helped you change your eating habit? Thank you. Questions? Go ahead.
How did you do the logistic part? I think that's also a challenge. Or is it?
The logistics part with the Ana Roš and Tuš brand.
Yeah, because this sounds really good.
Yeah,
I'd like to do it in the Netherlands, but
you should.
most of the time people say, well, logistics.
Just think, Andraž, before you answer how much time we need to put out ravioli, and then you answer her with
Yeah.
The low veg ravioli
not that is coming.
is done.
Yes.
It's coming in, I think 1 week.
But we are working on it
1 week.
18 months.
Yeah, we've worked on this since October 2020. Almost. So logistics, yeah. The biggest problem with logistics here is you have very small boutique producers that have a very limited supply range. So they are able to supply, for example, with Tatar, right? beef tartare, they're able to supply, I think, a couple of thousand, 2,000, 3,000 pieces per week or something. What this caused was, obviously, this is has a short shelf life, and you want it fresh. And this makes it a problem, because even though the producer is close to us, they can basically deliver same day in a couple of hours, it's still not enough. So the biggest logistical problem was actually the quantities. Yes. Making enough for everyone to get their hands on it, especially in December, which is the season for tartare. So for other products, we didn't have that much of an issue. But still, the key ingredient was talking about it with the suppliers ahead of time, estimating how much you need, how much you would sell, and then obviously really quickly just adapting to what the market does. So how much actually customers, consumers buy this, and then how much the producer can make. So it depends mostly on that.
But I will also answer you on that one, because we went really into shit with a few products. That one was cottage cheese gnocchi that were launched first. Like there was a huge problem of albumina cottage cheese, so albumin cottage cheese on the market. There was too much of it because it can only be used fresh. The sales went so high in the sky that we had to start limiting the production of cottage cheese gnocchi, because we just couldn't get any more cottage cheese, and because we wanted to have exactly the product that just alpine world and just like the pure milk cottage, and that was mountain milk cottage, and so people started getting angry because they were like, but why do I go to a store and not get it? Or the potizza for the Easter. My friends from Kobarit made 50 kilometers to go to the first Tuš store to buy potizza we realized for the Easter, which was like a kind of dried plums, a lot of nuts inside, like pan forte a little bit, extremely good. And they got inside, and there was a line of people waiting just for potizza, which was gone, because we couldn't stay behind the production. Of course, then some things, like because of the short shelf life, like we had 2 negative months actually, because, you know, short shelf life also means that, you know, things maybe are not sold in time, or maybe you're still calculating because there's no additives added. But in this moment, with 60 products on the shelf, we are making pretty good story, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so.
But talk about, please, why the products are a little bit expensive, because this goes on Marie-Claude's discussion.
Yeah, as you mentioned before, so the farmers, in this case, the suppliers of the ingredients of this product line, the whole product line, obviously have to adhere to the very high standards that we set up for them. So what we do is, the development goes like this. This is something I think none of the retailers have ever done, or at least in my knowledge. So Ana basically and her team come up with the idea, and then we find somebody, usually more suppliers, that can make this product. And basically they give samples, and then we start with the elimination. So with many products, we've actually gotten to the point where we couldn't find anyone to make it. Just because fresh ingredients and industrial process don't mix very well. So even I realized how much these products are basically, how many compromises you have to make in order to make a product that you can make in like 10,000, 100,000 pieces per month. So many ingredients that are in these products are very hard to get, very limited, very fresh, picked by hand, and usually these products are made by hand as well. So we don't really negotiate much with the suppliers of these products, with the ingredients. We basically pay the price, and we see that even the customers are ready to pay the higher price. Usually these are the products that are the highest priced products in that category, and really does make a difference. But still, we take only 10% margin on these products, which is basically enough to just cover our logistics costs, much less than we do in general.
Thank you.
Thank you.